Meg said, "Do the descriptions change with the different brands you use?" They don't. That's actually a good idea. I've actually not thought about that. That would add a little bit of a step to him, and I lean more on the side of speed, which has worked from the beginning on to now, but moving forward, you may need to be more specific like that. So that's definitely something I'm going to consider. But as of right now, he said he can post design in, I think, 54 seconds is what he can do. So he can
Wow.
speed through these in the methods I have laid out right now. So yeah, so if I do decide to do that, that'll add a little bit of time there. But it may be worth doing moving forward. The descriptions, the brand or the bullet points and the descriptions I have laid out aren't like really specific. They're definitely not loaded up with keywords. I've seen a lot of people's listings where it's just funnies, comma, laughter, comma. I mean, it's just comma, 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 comma. I don't recommend that. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think Amazon's going to like that because that's against their listing guidelines on the website as a whole. So I definitely wouldn't recommend doing that. And so I don't do it. But my bullet points are typically like sentences written out sort of to include some keywords that may be relevant at different times of the year. And then my description is more of a description of my brand. And so, as Meg said, their branding is a great idea. I've seen a lot of people put maybe like funny T-shirts into their brand field, and that may be fine for now, and it may get you some sales. But I think moving forward, you're definitely going to have a brand presence. I'm actually considering it. I was thinking about it yesterday, considering putting making a miniature logo of my brand and putting that incorporating that into the design of all the T-shirts I put out moving forward, because I think it's going to become that serious that you're going to want a brand presence. So that's definitely important. And Marsha said here, you don't do keyword research on each shirt based on the niche and design. No, I don't do keyword research. I do have a subscription to Merchant Words, but I think I've only used it maybe twice, 2 or 3 times. Not, I probably should cancel the subscription, but so no, not really. Usually I just use whatever comes off the top of my head. If I think that this certain group of people is going to be searching for this shirt, then I may put a keyword in there that I think they'll be searching for. Other than that, I don't really do a lot of specific searches. But when I do put keywords, go ahead, Dave.
I'm sorry. That's interesting to me, Daniel, because you're breaking all the rules. These questions that are being asked are kind of commonly accepted things that we think we should do. We should write a different description for each shirt that includes the right keywords that might rank that shirt and that kind of thing. And here you are, like, just going forward, getting as many shirts up as possible, as quick as possible, and it's working for you, you know. And you're not focusing on a description for each T-shirt, although, you know, I would agree it's a good idea to do that, and I would also agree that it's a good idea to change up your keywords. But you happen to be in a very interesting position where you're going for your next year, or you're trying to fill up, you know, 8,000 designs. So it's more about speed, and then you could always come back later and modify your description or your keywords or whatever later. But in the meantime, before fourth quarter, you want to pack as many designs in as possible so that fourth quarter is amazing, which is going to be anyway. But.
Yeah. Well, because it's a math game in my mind. Even like the way I see it right now, what I've said it before, what I consider a healthy account to be selling is about 15 to 20% of however many shirts they have in their account per week. So if you have 100 shirts, I would expect you to be selling 15 to 20 per week if it's healthy. That's the way I see it. Right now is a bit of a slowdown, and I've noticed that across the board. But I will say that as of May, 15 to 20% was what I considered healthy. Right now, it seems like 10 to 15 is about the normal range, and that, of course, that's gonna sway during the year. In December, if you're doing 15 or 20%, I think there's probably a problem, because I think that's going to be really doing. I think December is going to really boost that number up. So, but yeah, so it's a numbers game in my mind. Even if I only hit 10%, doing it the way I'm doing it, I would rather hit 10% of 8,000 than 100% of 200. I mean, you know what I'm saying there. I would much rather get as many, and then get as many as I can out, and then fix it later if there's anything I need to fix. So, but yeah, Marcia, you actually did understand me correctly. I do use the same 2 bullet points for every shirt across the board. That's just the standard. What I was about to say earlier is that when I do put keywords in, if I put any keywords in, it'll just be in the title, and it may just be 1 or 2. Nothing major. Maybe funny or something like that. So so nothing major at all. So yeah, so that's definitely how I go about that.
And that's one of the things that surprised me too, being involved in working with you on putting your system into a training course. I was kind of shocked that you're doing one description all the way through, and you're using minimal keywords in the title and minimal keywords in the bullet points. And I was like, wow. So
it shows the power of Amazon, and how many customers is truly there, is truly on the platform.
It does. And for those that are kind of curious, you might be going, well, then what is it? I mean, what is it that's causing these sales? Well, that's really the topic of the course that we co-teach. Yeah. I mean, that's really the kind of the secret sauce of Merch by Amazon that Daniel has tapped into, and not a whole lot of other people have been able to. So.
Yeah, and I just included the link to the course we're talking about in the comments there. I'm not sure if Dave can get to it, so I went ahead and did that. It's merchstrategies.com. And so that's what we're talking about there.